Guys, okay, so I have to show you something. I was just scrolling through my phone, like we all do, like a million times a day, and it just hit me, like, really hit me. This thing, this tiny little device, it knows everything about us. It knows where we go, who we talk to, what we're thinking about buying. It's kind of creepy when you really think about it. But what if it's even creepier than that? What if our phones aren't just storing our secrets, but sharing them? What if someone, somewhere, is watching us through the camera, listening to us through the microphone right now? I know, it sounds crazy, right? Like straight out of a conspiracy theory. But hear me out. We've all seen Black Mirror. We know how technology can be used against us. And the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, our phones aren't the harmless little gadgets we thought they were. Maybe there's something much, much darker. Okay, so let's talk about apps for a second. You know those little icons we click on a million times a day without even thinking about it? They've become such an integral part of our daily lives that we often forget what we're really dealing with. Every time we download an app, it asks for permission to access things on our phone, right? Our camera, our microphone, our location. We just click allow without even reading the fine print. I mean, I'm totally guilty of it too. But what are we really agreeing to? Think about it. When an app has access to your camera, it can technically take pictures and videos without you even knowing. And the microphone, that's even scarier. They could be listening to our conversations, recording our every word. And don't even get me started on location tracking. They know where we are at all times. It's like we're giving them a map to our entire lives. And the thing is, it's not just the apps themselves we have to worry about. There's this whole other level of creepy called spyware. Spyware is basically like a virus that can be secretly installed on your phone, and it can give hackers total access to everything. They can read your texts, listen to your calls, even watch you through your camera, all without you having a clue. I know, it sounds like something out of a movie, but this is real life, people. This stuff is happening right now. There was this one case, right, where this guy found out his ex-girlfriend had installed spyware on his phone and had been tracking his every move for months. Months! Can you imagine? It's terrifying. And the worst part is, most of the time people don't even realize they have spyware on their phones until it's too late. They just think their battery is draining faster than usual or their phone is running a little slow, but by then, the damage is already done. They've already been spied on, their privacy completely violated. It's like, we think we have all this control over our phones, but do we really? Or are we just pawns in some big tech game, completely unaware of how much power we're actually giving away? We need to be more vigilant, more aware of what we're agreeing to when we download these apps. It's not just about convenience, it's about our privacy, our security. So next time you download an app, take a moment to read those permissions. Understand what you're giving away, because once you click allow, you're handing over the keys to your digital castle. And trust me, you don't want just anyone having that kind of access. It's time we take back control. It's time we become the gatekeepers of our own digital lives. Because in this age of technology, our privacy is more valuable than ever. So be smart, be cautious, and always remember, you have the power to protect your digital world. Don't give it away so easily. Stay informed, stay safe, and keep those keys to your castle secure. Okay, so we've talked about apps and spyware, but guys, it gets even creepier. Imagine a world where every single move you make is being watched, not just by people, but by machines. It's like living in a sci-fi movie, but it's real life, like Black Mirror level creepy. You know, those episodes that make you question everything about technology and society. You know how everyone's obsessed with facial recognition now? It's everywhere, from our phones to our social media accounts, like unlocking your phone with your face, tagging your friends in photos. It's convenient, right? But convenience often comes at a price. But have you ever stopped to think about what else that technology could be used for? What if it's not just about making our lives easier? What if our faces are being scanned and tracked everywhere we go? It's not just about security, it's about surveillance. I mean, think about all the security cameras out there now. They're in public places watching our every move. Airports, stores, even on the street. They're everywhere and they're always on. What if those cameras aren't just recording us but analyzing our faces, building a database of our every move? It's like we're living in a giant experiment. And it's not just the government we have to worry about. Private companies are in on it too. Big tech companies are collecting our facial data too. They say it's to improve their algorithms, make our lives easier, but at what cost? They say it's to improve their algorithms, make our lives easier, but at what cost? What are we giving up in exchange for this convenience? What happens to all that data? Where does it go and who has access to it? Who has access to it? Is it secure, or could it be hacked and used against us? And then there's AI, artificial intelligence. It's not just about robots, it's about smart systems that learn and adapt. It's like, the robots are taking over, you guys. But it's not just robots, it's the algorithms behind them. AI is getting more sophisticated every day, and it's being used in ways we can't even imagine. It's not just about doing tasks, it's about understanding us. What if they're developing AI that can read our emotions just by looking at our faces? It's like they can see right through us. What if they can predict our behavior, manipulate our thoughts? It's like they have a window into our minds. It sounds crazy, I know, but is it really that far-fetched? We're already living in a world where algorithms know what we want to buy before we even do. They're already influencing our choices. Is it that hard to believe they could figure out what we're thinking and feeling too? It's like they're one step ahead of us. And here's the thing that really freaks me out. What if all this technology, the facial recognition, the AI, what if it's not just about monitoring us but controlling us? What if all this technology, the facial recognition, the AI, what if it's not just about monitoring us but controlling us? What if they're using it to manipulate our behavior, influence our decisions? It's like, we think we're making our own choices, but what if we're not? It's like, we think we're making our own choices, but what if we're not? What if our every move is being watched, analyzed, and manipulated by some unseen force? It's a chilling thought, but one we need to consider in this age of technology. Okay, so you might be thinking, Shane, this is all just speculation, you're being paranoid. But let me tell you, this is far from just a conspiracy theory. But guys, I'm not making this stuff up. This is real, and it's happening right under our noses. There have been so many cases, real-life incidents that prove this is really happening. It's not just some isolated event, it's a pattern. Like, remember that whole Pegasus spyware scandal? It was insane. The scale of it was mind-boggling. Pegasus is this super advanced spyware that was developed by this Israeli company, NSO Group. And it was basically being sold to governments all over the world. We're talking about a global market for surveillance. And what were they using it for? To spy on journalists, activists, even politicians? People who were just doing their jobs or fighting for a cause. They were literally hacking into people's phones, reading their messages, listening to their calls, and tracking their every move. All because they were considered a threat. A threat to what? To the status quo, to those in power. And the scariest part is, this isn't just happening in some far-off place. These weren't just random people. These were targeted attacks on specific individuals. These were people in positions of power, people who had influence and the ability to make change, people with resources and connections. If they could be targeted, what does that mean for the rest of us? It means no one is safe. And then there's this whole other thing called cyber eavesdropping. It's not just about reading your messages, it's basically when hackers use malware or spyware to listen in on your conversations through your phone's microphone, even when you're not making a call. They can even turn on your camera remotely so they can see and hear everything that's going on around you, even when you're not making a call. Imagine the invasion of privacy. They can even turn on your camera remotely so they can see and hear everything that's going on around you. It's like having a spy in your pocket so they can see and hear everything that's going on around you. It's like nowhere is safe anymore. Not even our own homes, And the thing is, most of the time, these attacks go completely undetected. People have no idea they're being spied on until it's too late. They just think their phone is acting a little glitchy, or their battery is draining faster than usual. But those little glitches, those seemingly harmless signs, or their battery is draining faster than usual. But those little glitches, those seemingly harmless signs, they could be a sign that someone is watching you, listening to your every word. It's a chilling thought, but it's the reality we live in, listening to your every word. So the next time your phone acts up, think twice. It might not just be a glitch. Guys, this isn't just me saying this. Some seriously smart people, like actual experts, have been warning us about this for years. Like, Remember Edward Snowden? He was the one who blew the whistle on the whole NSA surveillance program a few years back, the one where the government was collecting data on millions of Americans without their knowledge or consent. Yeah, well, Snowden has been saying for years that our smartphones are basically portable spying devices. He even said that intelligence agencies could turn on your phone's camera and microphone remotely, even if your phone is turned off. Like, how is that even possible? And it's not just Snowden. Other cybersecurity experts have been raising the alarm too, saying that our phones are vulnerable to all sorts of attacks, and that we need to be way more careful about the information we share online. But the thing is, most people just aren't listening. They think it's all just conspiracy theories, that it could never happen to them. But guys, it's time to wake up. This is real, and it's happening right now. We're living in a world where our every move is being tracked, our every word recorded. Our phones, the devices we rely on for everything, have become tools of surveillance, and we're letting it happen without even realizing it. So, what do you think? Is this just me being paranoid, or is there something really shady going on here? I mean, it's easy to dismiss this as just another conspiracy theory. But the thing is, so many things that were once considered conspiracy theories have turned out to be true. Remember when people thought the government was listening to our phone calls? Turns out, they were right. What about the idea that big corporations are collecting our data and selling it to the highest bidder? True again. So, is it really that far-fetched to think that our phones are being used to spy on us? I don't know about you guys, but this whole thing has me seriously creeped out. It's like, I don't even know what to believe anymore, but one thing's for sure, I'm definitely going to be a lot more careful about what I do on my phone from now on. And you should too, because the truth is out there and it's watching